Listen, Proverbs 1 is not a cute Bible chapter, it's an alarm. It's the kind of chapter that doesn't pat you on the back. It grabs you by the collar and asks, who's shaping your life? Because whether you realize it or not, you are being trained every day. By voices, by habits, by friends, by cravings, by fear, by pride. And Proverbs 1 opens with a mission statement. This book exists to give you wisdom, discipline, and good judgment. Not vibes, not quotes, not inspiration. Wisdom for real life. For when temptation is loud. For when pressure is high. For when emotions are begging you to do something stupid. Proverbs is saying, you can either learn by instruction or you can learn by injury. Then the chapter drops the foundation that everything else sits on. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. That doesn't mean being scared of God. It means you live like God is real, like His word has weight. It means you stop placing your own opinion at the top of your life, because the moment you remove God as the center, you don't become free, you become drift-prone. You become led by whatever is loudest, and Proverbs is blunt. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Why? Because fools don't hate information. They hate correction. They don't want to be taught. They want to be affirmed. And that right there is how people stay stuck for years, because pride turns guidance into an insult. Next, Proverbs 1 gets personal. It says, listen to wise instruction, especially from the people who actually love you. Don't roll your eyes at correction. Don't treat accountability like disrespect. Because here's the truth. If you can't receive instruction, you can't grow. And if you can't grow, you will repeat cycles. Then the chapter shifts and warns you about a danger most people underestimate, your circle. Proverbs 1 basically says, your future can be destroyed by the wrong voices, even if you meant well. And it paints a scene that feels like it was written for today. A group pulls up and says, come with us. Not with horns and a pitchfork, with confidence, jokes, excitement, and promises. They offer shortcuts, easy money, quick pleasure, fast wins, no consequences. And Proverbs says, don't go. Don't even start down that road, because sin never advertises the full price. It never says, come with us and lose your peace. Come with us and ruin your reputation. Come with us and harden your conscience. Come with us and become someone you don't recognize. No. Sin calls itself opportunity, but Proverbs exposes the trap. When people run toward greed and violence, they think they're hunting profit, but they are laying a snare for their own lives. Because greed doesn't just take your money, it takes your future.
Then Proverbs does something powerful. Wisdom starts speaking like a person. She's not hiding. She's not locked in a church building. She's out in the open, calling in the streets. Meaning, wisdom is available. The problem is not access. The problem is pride. And wisdom asks a question that hits like a slap. How long will you love being simple? How long will you keep choosing ease over growth? How long will you keep mocking correction? How long will you keep ignoring truth because it makes you uncomfortable? Wisdom says, turn when I correct you, because I'll pour out insight. I'll teach you. That's mercy. That's God saying, come back now before it costs you more. I called and you refused. I stretched out my hand and you ignored me. You rejected counsel. You despised correction.
And then comes the warning that people don't want to hear. There is a point where consequences show up, and panic hits, and you start searching for wisdom, but you can't find it. Not because wisdom disappeared, because you treated wisdom like background noise for too long. You don't get to ignore warnings for years and then demand peace in a moment. That's not God being cruel. That's reality being honest. Your choices have momentum. And when you keep choosing foolishness, eventually foolishness collects its debt. Then Proverbs 1 ends with a line that is not hype, it's a promise. Whoever listens to me will dwell secure and be at ease, without dread of disaster. It doesn't say you'll have no storms. It says you won't be destroyed by them. Because wisdom doesn't just change what you know, wisdom changes what you choose. So here is Proverbs 1 in one unavoidable truth. Your life is going to be shaped by a voice, the voice of the crowd, the voice of craving, the voice of greed, the voice of pride, the voice of fear, or the voice of wisdom. And Proverbs 1 forces you to decide now, before you're deciding in the middle of a crisis.
Because the scariest part isn't that wisdom is hard to find. The scariest part is this: wisdom is speaking, and most people are too distracted to listen.